I got my girls out today for a little drive. Oops. They haven't been driven much this winter, and they get kind of ornery when they're not driven much. All working animals do. They get bored. Working people do too. You know, you take a kid who's never worked and he's hard to get him to work, but you take a old fart like me who's worked all his life, it's the easiest thing in the world. Watching the neighbors, watching the fence. I'm just out on the work cart. I'm not out on one of the pretty carts. It's two-wheel, it's easy to drive, it's easy to control, easy to steer. Mostly they just need to get out and get some exercise, get some walking. The more donkeys work, well, the more any equine works. My chosen equine is the donkey. Yours might be a mule or it might be a horse. But in fact, this law applies to all of them. The more they work, if they're not work-soured, if they're not abused and made unhappy, generally the more they work, the better they do it and the easier they are to get along with. Which means typically that in spring, they can kind of be a handful because for most people it's difficult to get out and do much work in the winter. And I'm definitely in that most people class. And so what we're doing today, really as much as anything, is we're just getting getting springed up. You know, getting warmed back up for the spring. Ready to work more. These girls last year, they'd do this all day and never complain, and now they're a little fussy. They're not bad. I mean, they're being good, don't get me wrong. But like a car just passed us going the other way, and that upset Clara more than it would have last fall. And so it's just a matter of getting back out and getting used to stuff again. And it's a pretty day. It's 60 degrees here almost. There's big, high, almost thunderheads growing up around, but they're not there yet. And it's hard to beat a day like today. I'm driving with one hand to just take, you know, it's not taking much to hold them. Here comes somebody with a car with a non-animal pulled slow vehicle on it, or truck. Don't know if he's coming now. He's going the other way. Good. Look at Clara's ears. She's got that thing. Missy does too. Yes, you're my babies. You're good girls. There's a phrase you hear. Give them their head. You steer an equine by its head, your lines go to the bit, and the bit causes them to turn their head. And they pretty much follow whatever direction they're looking. Missy, step up there, little baby. That's a girl. And so, the way like these girls here, the way they're acting today, Missy's she's getting that foot in the mud and she doesn't like it. I don't need much pressure on the lines at all. They're at a walk, which is real calm, and they're going where I want them to go. They've been out so much that they pretty much know that the lanes on the road, you know, are the lanes on the road. They know what they're doing. So they're just walking along without me having to make any requirements at all of them, and that's why the lines are so loose. And that's what we call give them their head. Now, you know, when they get in a spot where they don't know what I want of them, then I have to apply more pressure. I have to tighten up the lines so that I can communicate with them. because it's not about forcing animals with a bit. You can actually force them with a bit. You can make a bit hurt. You can force them to do what you want with pain. But a well-trained animal and a skilled teamster, those bits are just to communicate, to let them know what you want. Now, when they're doing what I want without me telling them anything, I don't have to apply any pressure at all. See, I just pulled there. Clara was moving off to the left. I didn't like that, so I pulled a little bit to move her to the right. But aside from that, they're just walking on loose line. They're walking, with their heads. They got their heads, and that's they're not that hard to drive. I mean, the more they know, the easier they are, and so make it easier on yourself. Just make their life easy. It makes your life easy.